Hello everyone, Gamer Ghost Dad here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about second generation consoles such as the Atari 2600, the Intellivision, and the Colecovision, many other consoles that came that required you to tune to channel 3 or 4 and essentially used RF output through a modulator to view the video. So I'm sure everyone remembers the little adapters. Sometimes they had a little slider on it. I'll put a picture up in the screen that allows you to switch from game to TV or the game console to TV. So when you turned it to channel 3, you might have the local news on. You changed it to game, it would switch to your game console. But these consoles have RF modulators built in to output to either channel 3 or 4. And I often get asked the question of how could I go directly from the output of the console into something like HDMI without having to modify the console to have a higher video output. And I've done a lot of research on this, looking for a simple solution. I've tried a number of different devices. Today I just want to show you a particular solution that I think will work really well. There's seems to be a lot of supply at the moment of the particular device I have in mind. For my demo unit, I'm going to be using this Intellivision 2. The Intellivision 2 was my first home console growing up. This is a regular unmodded model that I have for testing, and we'll be using as we go through everything. First, I want to talk about what hasn't worked very well for me. And you may have seen online, they show these. It's got kind of a metallic, light pink color RF demodulator or modulator to HDMI. I'll put a picture of it on screen. I've tried it and had varying results. It's very sensitive to the number one, I've had trouble powering it correctly. It just doesn't seem to power all the way. But it also seems to be very sensitive to how strong the RF signal is coming out of the device. And sometimes you have to boost the signal to get it to work. So I really don't recommend those. They're actually very expensive. They get imported in. Something else I've tried is on Amazon. You'll see these devices, and it's just a RF in, has composite out and audio out, and there's no other settings or changes. It's just a black box. I think they're around $60, $70, and it just goes to channel 3. And this one also, it worked, but I had to boost the signal to get it to work. And it just wasn't very reliable. The signal was really, really terrible, almost unusable. So that really doesn't work. And maybe before I continue, I should talk about how you would actually connect this directly to something like a cable adapter. So on the back of the Intellivision and in these other consoles, they just have like an RCA connector. So you can take a standard RCA cable, like you would for regular composite video, and you can use that to connect to the device. And then on the other side, if you had a TV that still had a cable demodulator, still had cable TV connector, you can get one of these adapters, and you can pick them up at one of the probably your retro store has some of these. You can also get them online. Usually as a kit, they'll come with the cable and they'll come with the adapter. But it simply just takes an RCA connector and then converts it into a cable connector that you can screw on to the back of your TV. I think the big issue right now is that not all new TVs have a cable demodulator. And some of the newer TVs, if they do, they may not support the lower signal frequencies that are needed for the old style of over-the-air TV. We now have digital TV that supports much higher frequencies, and things just may not work. So again, this is to show some of the methods that are out there and show what really has worked for me. Another type of device that I've tried is these Contemporary Research 2032 MTA, very simple mono TV tuner demodulator. And this, you'll see, this is the same company that makes the actual solution that I want to present to you. But it takes a cable TV in out, and it simply outputs to a composite video out. And this worked really well. Very simple. Select your channel. It's a very simple device. They do sell for a little more. Usually when I see them They do not come with the power adapter. It takes a just regular 12 volt DC, maybe a 500 mA power adapter. But this does work. But again, if you're wanting to go to HDMI, it doesn't give you the full solution. It does give you most of the way there. Another item I'll show, I'll flash up on the screen, is these little cable TV boxes you have that take TV input, and they also seem to be more locked into the newer HDTV signals. I've never really got to work with the lower frequency of channel 3 or 4, so I don't recommend them. What I do recommend that has worked extremely well for me is the Contemporary Research 232 ATSC Plus line of items. And these are probably what would have been in maybe cable TV provider kind of server rooms and signal rooms. And what these would do is take a over-the-air or signal through coax and convert its video output to either analog or digital output through the same. So this item actually will take a cable TV channel and upscale that to a HDMI signal. I find these on eBay for around $40 to $60. Sometimes they come with a power adapter, sometimes they don't, but it does take a 12 volt DC 1 amp power supply. Pretty easy to find if you need one. And it's just a really versatile device. You can see that we can output to component. We can do regular composite video. It will do RGB, it will do VGA connections. It can be controlled via RS-232. It has an upgradable firmware. They are still releasing the firmware for this as late as March of 2024, so it's still a relevant device. Then of course the HDMI connector. So for me, this is a great solution for those second generation consoles that are out there. So let's do a little demo. Let's do an example of how this works. I'm going to take the Intellivision and run it through this device. We'll bring up a little Elgato screen so you can see what happens as I connect everything. And just show how easy, if you picked up one of these devices, it could be going from a RF output to a HDMI signal for a very affordable price. So let's start with the Intellivision. I am going to leave it on channel 3. So the Intellivision 2 has the selector on the back. The original Intellivision had the selector on the bottom. Other consoles will have different areas where they actually have that selection. So on the back here, I have a couple things I do need to connect. Let's start with the power. Make sure to get the right power. Okay. Got our power. And then I'm going to take my RCA cable and I'm going to connect it to the RF out. So that's everything we should need to do on the console. I have my favorite game, Astro Smash, insert in. And on the device, on the Contemporary Research device, I'm going to take our RCA to cable adapter and go ahead and screw that on there. Little ASMR sound there. I'm going to take our composite cable, our RCA cable that has the RF channel signal on it, and just plug it in right there. I'm going to take the HDMI signal from that will go to our Elgato and plug it in there. And then I will connect the power for this device right here. So with that, we should have everything plugged in. And I am going to switch my view here so we can see what's going on with the Elgato. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the device, and when I turn it on, you'll see we are set to channel 3. Okay, sorry about that. I will chop out some of that feedback. But you saw we immediately had some normal empty channel noise, like we do. and I hit the power on the Intellivision, and now we actually have signal coming through our Elgato HDMI capture, again channel 3, and this does support a number of different video modes. So right now I believe it's coming across as 480p. We can do 480i, we can do 1080i. Wait for everything to reset here, and let me switch back to, I'll do a full screen view so you can see, and then we can do a 720p, and go back to the 480p. I think I like the 480p for the example. Now you can see the signal, it's not fantastic. There is some noise removal built into this device, but it's composite output. It's probably just as good as you would get on the regular TV, but you went through really no fuss at all to hook up a device, and it's doing automatic upscaling for you, and it will allow you to play and do what you need to do. So that's really it in a nutshell in terms of a device that works. You can find these things on eBay. I actually picked up a 4-pack of these. They had the rack mounts with them and everything. I'll be selling them on eBay myself, keeping one just so I can have around for projects. But really recommend giving this a try if you have some of the older retro consoles and you want a way to quickly connect to HDMI, and it has an RF modulator and you don't want to have to modify your console. Pick one of these devices up while you have them. As companies move from analog to digital, there's much less need for these devices. Contemporary Research is more of an industrial company for those cable operators and video operators. But looks like people are offloading these devices. They're no longer needed. And I really recommend you pick one up if you do work with these consoles and want, again, that simple HDMI solution for either game capture or just doing troubleshooting. It's a really versatile device that can help you get from an analog cable signal to a digital HDMI signal. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is slightly different content, and you'll start to see more of this slightly different content. Still devoted to Xbox One content, but if you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up, get a like, and check the bell icon to get notified of new videos. I'd love for you to come along for the ride as we check out more Xbox One collecting and a television repair and other items, just things that interest me overall. So I appreciate your views, and have an awesome day, and hope you see you soon.